Hey guys, it's Kate. So this is the first video in a series that I'm doing on how to properly engage, align, balance, and stabilize your core. So now, just a reminder, your core does not just include your abdominal muscles, which are a part of your core, but it includes this whole central piece. So it's like the centerpiece of your body. I even like to include the glutes in that, although I'm sure there's going to be some controversy in me saying this. But if you really think about where the center of your body is, for some of us, for some people, it is right into your abdominal area. But for a lot of us, it's much lower than that, which would include a little bit of those hip and glute muscles. So I come from the dancer school of thought, which is if you are able to tap in and make the connections into your core, then everything else in your body will fall in line and kind of follow along with that. And so whether that's posture, strength, mobility. So if you're looking to improve your posture or get rock hard abs or get better balance, these videos are going to be a really great place to start because they're going to help you to do that by preventing injury and really focusing on the proper alignment and balance of those muscles. So come on with me, let's start. So the first exercise I'm going to do is kind of adding on to an exercise that Pam did in her low back series. So if you haven't seen that yet, you should check it out. But you're just going to start lying on your back, and you're just going to let your feet go out in front of you, let your arms go up over your head, and I just want you to figure out where this center is and feel this kind of nice stretch through the center of your body. You might be feeling it in the front of the hips. You might be feeling a little bit of an overarch in the back. That's all fine. I just want you to be in a nice neutral position to start. You can even dig your heels in and do a little bit of rocking just to find a nice, easy center and just kind of relax into it. Good. Now from there, I want you to place your hands on your abdomen and start to take a nice couple of deep breaths. And so breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, nice and slow. And the idea is to figure out where your breath is coming from. So maybe start with your hands on your ribs, maybe one hand on the rib, one hand on the lower abdomen, even at one hand on the chest maybe if you're breathing a little higher. So while you're here, I want you to start thinking about trying to let the breath drop into this kind of lower part of your abdomen. And once you've found that, it might take a few breaths, that's fine, you don't have to go with me, just make sure you're finding it for yourself. But once you have found it, go ahead and bring one leg up and the other leg up. And so now you're in this nice neutral position. So neutral spine, you should be able to put your hands underneath your low back. That's the natural curve of your lumbar spine. So now that you're here, placing your hands on your abdomen and just breathing into that, finding that nice breath, finding that nice neutral position. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try to engage the deep abdominal muscles, which are your transverse abdominals. So instead of thinking of trying to engage the abdominals that are on top, I want you to think deeper. It's a little lower. So you're thinking about bringing the pubic bone up towards the sternum by tilting your hips in like a nice little tilted position. Don't worry about doing it right now. I'm going to talk you through it and then we'll do it together. So it's pubic bone towards the sternum, tilting your hips. You want to keep your glutes nice and relaxed, and you want to keep the front of your thighs and the front of your hip crease nice and relaxed as well. It's really deep into your abdominals. And so what you're going to do is you're going to do that on an exhale. And while you do that, you're going to think scooping out and dropping down. I know that's a lot of information, but it's bringing this closer to this, tilting, scooping, and dropping in. You're going to do that on an exhale. So everybody breathing in through your nose. And on the exhale, let that tilt and let that drop in. Good. You're going to hold this position. So now while you're here, you should have no more space here because your back is now flat on the floor. This is relaxed. This is relaxed. And so now your breath might be up a little higher, but you're going to stay here and you're going to take two nice deep breaths here, in through the nose and out through the mouth, while engaging those transverse abdominal muscles. And if you're not used to engaging these, you might even get a little bit of a shake, and that's fine. That's a good thing. That means that those muscles are working. And one more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good, and slowly release that back into a neutral position, neutral spine. So now you can get your hands under there again. And you're gonna do that again. So deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, tilt the pelvis, relaxing the hips, pubic bone towards the sternum, and sinking this in. And just hang out there. This time we're gonna hold it for 3 deep breaths. And just breathing in through the nose. And nice big exhale through the mouth, keeping this position in place. And again, the breath might be a little higher, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And you do that one more time, in through the nose. And on the exhale, just let it go. Back to that neutral spine. So now, if you're finding that connection and you're like, oh, I get it, I can really feel that those muscles are working, great, then you can move on to the next part. But for those of you that are still trying to kind of play with that and figure out where all those things are, do that a few more times, that's fine. But for those of you that want to move on with me now, go ahead. If you want to pause it and do this a few more times, that's totally fine as well. So now that we're all back here and connecting into this, so you're going to find that one more time. Breathing in through the nose, exhale, dropping into that, scooping that abdominal area out, tilting the pelvis. And now from this position, you're going to lift one leg and then the other leg into a tabletop position. And I'm going to scoot back so you can see what I'm doing from a better position. So tabletop just means that you are, your thighs are at a 90-degree angle from your body and your lower leg is at a 90-degree angle from your thigh. So that's a nice tabletop position. In this next exercise, your knees stay together. Hands can be at your side or they can be underneath you. It's up to you. Whatever's most comfortable, but I like them here because they stabilize me a little better. So now, the idea behind this next exercise is smooth flow of movement. There shouldn't be any like pulling or torquing your body. This should feel very smooth flowing. So you're just going to slowly drop the knees to one side, never dropping them onto the floor completely. And then you're going to use your abdominals on your oblique side to pick them back up. And same thing to the other side and using those nice obliques to pick that back up again. So you're just rocking side to side. But the idea is to just kind of keep that nice smooth flow and never let the legs totally drop to the floor. So it's as far as you can go without dropping them down. Now, you might start to notice that one side feels easier than the other. That's fine. That means that there's a little bit of an imbalance there, but if you keep doing this on kind of a regular basis, those imbalances will start to even themselves out. So taking some nice deep breaths while you're doing this, just rocking side to side, nice and easy. And once you've done this, maybe 5 times each side, so we're going to do this a couple more times, and just finding it. Make sure that you are keeping your neck and your shoulders nice and relaxed. Don't let that hike up on you. Just keep breathing. And then once you've done this, between 5 and 10 times each side, depending on how vigorous you're feeling today, then you're going to bring it back to a nice neutral position, coming in, bringing the knees to the chest, maybe wag the tail a little bit. And then bring the legs out, find that nice elongated position again, find that nice stretch in your abdominals. Taking a couple nice deep breaths here in a neutral position. If you want, you can do the rocking with the heels. It's up to you. And when you're ready, rolling onto your side to come on up. So that is the first in the series that we're doing on core alignment. If you have questions or if you feel like these things aren't connecting yet, that's fine. Connecting into your core is not always the easiest thing to figure out, especially if you've been doing things maybe without connecting into your core for a long time. To maintain and find those connections can be a little daunting. But just stick with it. It really will work for you once you start to tap into it and once you find those things. Then all of a sudden, you'll start to notice other things that you were doing that you're like, oh, now that makes sense to me. So just stick with it. Keep going with it. And if you have questions, please let me know below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you back here for part 2. And until then, be well and have a wonderful day.